you don't have to pay me, cause it's FIRP. It's the 10th episode, yeah.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to FIRP.
This podcast.
Actually, no, not what's up, guys. What's up, dudes and women? I apologize.
Use us.
I apologize. Welcome back to FIRP. FIRP, of course, stands for flowers. Indeed, really pay.
They do. Have you noticed? Like, if you're trying to sell something to a flower, like you could sell it for any price. They'll pay for it.
Exactly. Why do you think flower shops are so popular?
Yeah, it's not because people die every 2 seconds. No, it's because like you'd be like, hey, I want to buy a flower. Like, why? Because they'll buy anything from me. Like, I have this old broken iPhone 1. You want it? $2,000. The flower's like, I'll give you 3,000. And you're like, you know what? I think I can do that. So you just sell all your stuff to that flower, you know?
I mean, in a world full of flowers as humanoids, actually, would flower shops then be slave trade?
Don't talk about that.
Okay, now we're
Have you seen Beauty and the Beast? They kept the flower in a glass jar.
Yeah, what the heck is that about? Come on, man. Rights
That's
for
not
flowers.
okay.
Rights for flowers.
Speaking of Disney, I've been having this debate with my little brother. We were talking about Beauty and the Beast actually,
Oh,
and
okay.
I was like, they have because I was like, did they have computers when this movie came out? Because I was looking at this behind the scenes thing. They had computers, and I'm like, did computers exist when this came out? And so I googled it. The movie came out in '91. But before I Googled it, my little brother was like, "Oh, I mean, it's a pretty recent Disney movie." And I'm like, I don't think it's recent. So I Google it, 1991. I'm like, yeah, no, it's not recent. He goes, 91 is recent. I'm like, what? Like
He's younger than.
1991 is recent. I'm like, that's 29
Oh,
years.
yeah, that's not recent. I mean, in the grand
No,
scope of
it's
things, but not
okay.
not in a
My
lifetime.
theory is that movies age faster than humans. A 29-year-old man or woman is not old, but a 29-year-old movie is old.
Oh, that's old. Yes.
I mean, even the first Incredibles is old. I'm older than the first Incredibles. The first Incredibles is still an old movie. It came out in
Yeah.
2004. It's 16 years old.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not an old person yet.
Not really.
That's
No.
just it I've been having. 29 years is an old movie. It's not an old person. It's an old movie. First Star Wars is old. Came out in what,
Very old.
70, 77?
Something like that. Yeah. A long time ago. I mean, dang. Yeah. It's a good point, actually. Movies are.
Yeah, it's just something I
grow up
thought about one
faster.
time. When the second Incredibles came out, Incredibles is like 15 years old.
Oh
That's an
yeah,
old
like they
movie.
they were kind of late on the
Yeah, a
on the
15-year gap. I'm like, holy cow. Jeez.
Yep, and it still wasn't really that impressive.
Yeah,
It was okay. I mean,
77 was when Star Wars came.
but then again, in like recent cinema, Incredibles 2 is also an old movie, so we're not going to discuss it now. That'd be kind of pointless.
Incredibles 2 isn't old. Incredibles 2 is what, maybe a year or two?
Actually, yeah. When did it come out? Give me a
Came
second.
out, I think it was late 2018 or early 2019.
Incredibles
I remember
2.
going to see it in theaters.
I do too. Yeah.
In quotes,
2018.
recently,
2018. That was still like at least
That was
a year
still
and a
a
half
while
ago.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember like anything that happened in 2018.
Um. Yeah, I remember some stuff, but not really enough.
We released Shoulda Told Her in 2018.
Oh, that's how far back this is. Okay.
Yeah, that was 2 years. Dude, we released that song 2 years ago.
Dang.
Holy crap. And
Yep.
Album Anthem came out a year ago. A year ago tomorrow, I think, actually.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah, it's
May
very.
9th. I think it came out May 9th.
I will double check. But I think it was almost a year ago
Either May
exactly.
9th or May 12th.
It
Remember, I had
came
some
out.
trouble.
Uh, it just says 2019. Gosh dang it, freaking
I can
Spotify.
find it on.
Egg.
Oh, it just says 2019. Brick.
Yay. Yeah, it was in May though. I
On
remember that much.
Spotify. Yeah. I remember when we were doing that. That was a fun one, actually. We were like, we need to take a break from working on this album. We've been working on it for like 2 years. And we're like, let's just write an EP before it.
Yeah.
And we're like, what do we call it? And I think I was sitting in the spinny chair and I've been spinning around for like 10 minutes. I'm like, what about pre-album anthem?
And we went, that's good enough. Let's do it.
We're like, let's go.
Yeah.
Why is
Yeah.
it? Oh, May 12th, 2019.
May 12th. That's it. I knew it
12th.
was. I knew it was in May.
Like it's either the 9th or the 12th. Yeah, I think
Okay,
the
so
original
4
plan was
days.
the 9th. but I
4
had to
days
look
from
back.
now, it'll be
A year old.
a year old. Wow.
And on the 27th, 29th of September, what day did that album come?
22nd.
2nd. That's when Badges will be a year old.
Dang. Yeah, that's actually not that far away now that I think about it.
Oh, it's not. Man, it's been a long time. Really long time.
Mm.
We're
Yes, it
finishing
has.
up these next albums. Then we've planned to do one more after these two. This double album comes out. We've got plans to do one more. We'll see what happens after.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm excited, honestly. I've
Yeah.
noticed that our albums are progressively getting shorter, kind of like Badges was 13 songs. This next one is 10 songs,
Well,
and then the next one, well, it's 20 technically, but it's
technically
10 on
20.
each. And then this next one that I'm planning to do like 8 or 9, but we'll see how many we can actually do.
Yeah, we'll see. Once we actually get done with this album, I don't want to really
Once
start
we
on
actually
the next
start the
one.
writing process, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really want to.
Have
and
ideas, but we're not doing.
even then,
stuff
even
for it.
once we get to like halfway through the production process, we still come up with new songs that we want to put in there and ones that we want
That's
to
kind
take
of what
out.
happened.
And,
This is how disc 2 started with the next album.
yeah,
Oh, the second one, because we're like, I was like, I only feel like it should have 10. That's just the way I'm being led in this process. Then I'm like, you know what? Radiohead did made this huge album, and they released disc 2 of it. I'm like, why don't we do a disc 2? Like, why don't we do a B-side?
yeah.
Have, these 10, and then I'm like, what if we did another 10? Because we had written so many extra songs.
And at that point, we had the 10 on the first disc, and I think like 8 or something on the other one.
Yeah, we had a good majority, and we're like, let's just do two albums that have the same title.
Let's
It's like
just do it.
2 parts.
Well, let's just do it. And then, yeah, we wrote a couple more songs and switched some stuff around, and we're getting there.
Yeah, there's a
Getting
couple
there.
songs that I'm really excited to release.
Oh yeah,
Like
definitely.
this next one that we're releasing, we wrote back in 2018. It was
Oh,
like
yeah.
late 2018 we started writing this one.
If you've been following us for a while, you have heard this song for sure.
If you've been to a show,
Any
I
show.
think we've played it at every show besides our first one and at the MK Camp shows.
Yeah, we've
if you've
played
been
it.
to
No,
our-
we played it at an. Oh no, we didn't play it at the MK.
We didn't.
show.
Been
Okay,
to
yeah.
the Big Drop last year or our show back in February or at school for the arts fair, you've heard this
Yep.
song. Like we can say the title doesn't matter. Shadow Trees.
Yeah,
That's our next release.
that was our first. Like that was. Actually, no, that was like our second big breakthrough, at least for me. Because
Yeah,
should have told her was a banger.
Yeah.
And then
love how much it like only affected a couple grades in the school, but I felt so popular. Everyone's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, good job with the song." I'm like, "Is this what fame feels like?"
not quite.
The entire 8th grade knows of our song. Yay! I was in like 6th grade when we did that song.
Oh yeah.
We wrote it. Yeah, I was so young.
And then after that, the second real banger that we wrote was probably Shadow Trees. I would say.
Sunshine. Sunshine's not like
Or-
a banger, but like it's a good song.
It's
I love Sunshine.
Yeah, Sunshine. I mean, we have a couple of I would say, good songs. But Shadow Trees was
Yeah.
the next like big breakthrough
Yeah, I love
that we'd
when
made.
doing Shadow Trees. We did so many versions of it.
Oh,
Like
so many.
I could go through my 1 terabyte hard drive that I throw everything on when my computer fills up, and I could just search Shadow Trees and have like 1,000 results. They're all just like Shadow Trees 7, Shadow Trees 7 7, Shadow Trees 7 7 7 7. For those of you who don't know, back when we were doing badges, we would label our tracks,
Actually,
like our files.
most people probably wouldn't know this, so we
Yeah,
need
they
to
would know.
explain it
People
anyway.
who had seen our computers would know. But because they're like, why are there so many sevens? But 7 is the number of completion, and so we would keep adding sevens to the newest version of the song. And we got to the point where Shadow Trees had like 47s. We're like, we gotta come up with a new system. We started doing like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, it's a little
Better
bit.
system.
It's a little bit of a better system.
There's so many
I'd
sevens.
say the 7 system was clever, but in the long run, it didn't really end
Yeah.
up being effective.
It was just supposed to go up until 777, which is like the perfect number.
Yeah.
But I kept going.
Yeah, then we had to make some changes and
Yeah. It was an experience, but it had to change. So it changed when I wrote a demo and started doing. It was an instrumental, so I would do I1, I2, I3. That was the
Yeah.
whole process. Sure, we'll come up with a new system every album. There's a new way to do it.
oh
That's what I
probably.
like.
Oh probably.
There's always been things that change when we do albums, like an era, I guess. Like with Badges, it was a black and white, colorful era, and then with the next album, it's dark black, gray, white, colorless era. And who
Yeah.
knows what the next one's gonna be like? We've got a couple plans for it.
A
I have
couple,
no
yeah.
idea what it's gonna be like.
I mean, overall we have kind of like an overarching narrative that we want to plan out.
Yeah.
Like in the album names and such, but not necessarily in the songs themselves, because some of them follow the theme and some of them don't.
I feel
But
like
we
the
have-
second and third album connect more than the first and second album.
Yeah,
Badges.
they connect more, but I'd say Badges still connects into the overarching.
It definitely does. Yeah. It's not like we have this big story like 21 Pilots planned out, but we have connecting themes that make sense, that run through all of the album.
Yeah.
Hopefully will resolve eventually.
Yeah, possibly. We'll see.
Realize I should have gone to the bathroom before I did this.
Yeah, that would have probably been good. Oh dear.
This.
Well,
We get to the break.
yeah.
Haven't
if we
had a
get-
break in a long time.
Yeah, we should do a break at some point. But
And when I'm like, all right, I gotta go.
real quick, actually, we have a fan that I want to have join the podcast for a second. Real quick. Yeah, dude. Yeah, here. He's gonna say something. There you go, buddy. Yeah, so that was his speech.
As soon as I caught on, oh my gosh. Oh man.
See, the funny thing is, right as I did that bit, my mom came in, so I had to mute the microphone anyway.
No, I'm like, he's not laughing. I was like, is he gonna pretend to be a different character? And then I was like, oh no.
Nope, I actually thought of that bit like 3 days ago, and I've been just itching to
Like,
put
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
It's kind of sad, really.
It's quite sad that you planned a bit where nothing happens.
Yeah, but the joke is, people, we have no fans.
No one's listening to this.
No one's listening to this.
In fact,
In
how many
fact,
views do our past podcasts have?
oh, I
First
don't
note?
know, but
Betting on 2 or 0.
I'm starting to think that we should just call our fans like nobody, because we don't have fans.
Oh, buddy, it's good to see ya.
Hello, nobody. We have
Episode 7 finally got a view.
episode 8 still has no views. Episode 9 has 1 view. This is
Oh,
episode 10, by the way.
Oh,
Yay!
congratulations on the 10th episode.
Happy episode 10.
Going for 2 months. This has been a 2-month process.
Yes, it has, and we've only missed what, like 1
It's
week?
like we missed a couple weeks because I was gone, and we had, so we missed like 2 weeks one time.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But yeah, I think after that we only missed 1 week.
Yeah.
I think it was like when quarantine started or whatever, and so we were kind of figuring stuff out, school and all that.
Yeah. It's not lucrative.
No. But quarantine is over. We're allowed to be in groups. By Monday, we're allowed to be in groups of 100.
Oh really?
And, yeah, and there were rumors that after the 17th that you won't be required to wear a mask outside anymore. But then there were other people who said that's not true, and so we'll see what happens. Hopefully
Yeah.
it's true because I hate wearing a mask. Like in stores and on public transportation, yes, wear masks. But if you're just like out and about, you don't need to wear a mask. It's not airborne.
Well, actually, it is airborne. That's the whole thing.
It's not like you can't, like, if someone coughs on you, yes, you're probably gonna get it. Like if you're just breathing the air.
Yeah, I guess it's harder to get it that way, but people aren't actually still really sure how it's transmitted.
Yeah.
We don't know all that much about this actually.
Cases have died down so much here. Like,
oh yeah,
we had 50 yesterday compared to our 400 we had one time.
Yeah, I think they said that at one point we got down to like 2 infections in 1 week or something like that. It was really low.
It was really good. I think we had a day where we didn't have any new cases, and I'm like, that is awesome.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's bit like this.
Yes, a little bit.
We're getting really good at it. So they're starting to loosen restrictions. Oh, we get to work tomorrow on our album. Hopefully, we get to finish it up.
Yeah, I think there's probably a little bit more than just 1 session's worth, but
we'll see how it goes.
We're gonna try and get as much done as we can.
Speaking of school and stuff, didn't you have senior pictures today?
Yes, I did at 7:00 in the morning.
That's ridiculous. Although you live like 7 minutes away from where they
see. Yeah, you would think I would be the one to be on time.
You're the late one.
But the problem was, the trams are still switched to weekend schedules because of this whole thing.
It's a holiday too, so.
And it's a holiday, so it's like there's 2 reasons why it should be on the weekend schedule. And I got down there at a time where I probably just barely missed a tram or something, because I looked at the times and I went, oh, okay, there's one coming in 5 minutes. And then I looked again at the weekend schedule and I went, oh, shoot, I missed one. And so the next one wasn't coming until 7:02. So that was fun.
I was surprised that my older brother was able to get there on time. Not usually.
See, I'm surprised you went at all, if I'm honest.
I was making a joke. My mom got him up at like 5:50 to get ready, and I'm like, I bet he had just gotten in bed when you went into his room. He's like, all right, time to go to sleep. And she comes in and says, time to get up.
Yep.
Night owl.
Very much so.
That my little brother wasn't here last night, and so I was being really quiet in my room, and I didn't turn on the lights, and then I was laying in bed, and I'm like, just did everything in the dark when I could have turned on the lights. But I'm so used to having someone else in this room. I was just like sneaking around with no one else in the room. He just walks in. What the heck are you doing?
Why are you so quiet in here?
Sin to be quiet now.
Yeah, it's kind of nice how things are loosening up now. It's a little bit.
It is great. We were able to have a party for you. That was nice.
Yeah.
For
my birthday actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went to an escape room. I guess we could talk about that.
Open?
So, escape rooms, if you don't know, you're trapped in a room and you have to figure out how to get out. And usually there's like puzzles and stuff and keys and locks and um. So we reserved one, and we were surprised that there were any open because of this whole thing. But of course, you're not allowed in with like more than 5 people at a time. Like that's how many can be in the same room. So I guess it kind of makes sense, but still, I don't know. Um, but yeah, it was butcher themed, like
Yeah. Oh god.
psychopathic butcher themed. Um, bloody handprint on the walls type of vibe. It was a little bit freaky.
A little bit. There were parts where I'm like uncomfortable, and then there were parts when I was singing classic Italian music.
Yeah, at some point we were just kind of like really nervous, and so we just started singing
And
the
your dad was like, "Take this seriously." I'm like, "I'm nervous. I'm going to sing my Italian songs."
and it just felt like it kept going, like there was room after room after room,
Because
and it
there
was
was the
so
shower. The shower.
like okay, so um like there's 3 minutes in or something, we're looking around for stuff to do, and you start off completely in the dark, so you have to figure out where to get a light first of all.
And we were like, "Did he forget to turn on the lights when he left?"
No, it turns out you're just supposed to do it mostly in the dark, but there was a ceiling light that we could turn on, and there was also a flashlight that we had on like a smartphone
Yeah.
that they had laying on the
Like,
counter.
once we
And
got
so
the one ceiling light on, it was a little bit creepier for some reason because like half the room was dark and half the room had light.
yeah, it was. I mean, the whole experience was pretty creepy. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
But like 5 minutes into the first room, of course they decide to knock on the door to get us freaked out. um, and
Enjoys
then
his job way too much.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Um, so we solved some puzzles, and we actually ended up having to go through the first door because we found a key, and we were like, "What's this for?" And the only thing that had a key in the room was the door.
It's so funny.
And at some point, I was just like, "Yeah, nah, I'm fine with just staying in this room. Let's just not move to the next room." I heard
The
knocking
key
from there.
and the doorbell. The doorbells freaked us out so much.
Yeah, because okay, there was a doorbell right next to the door, and I didn't want to push it, and Peyton didn't want to push it because we were afraid that someone was gonna open the
We're
door.
like, is this an emergency thing? Are we supposed to push these? And like, is someone gonna jump out of that door? And so we're like,
Now,
not pushing these buttons.
obviously, they can't legally hurt us, right? So there was no danger at all. But of course, the creepy vibe just gets through anyway.
It's just yeah, it's just your nerves.
And so, um, yeah, so we were afraid to push the doorbell. Finally, someone went up and pressed it, and it
was
turns out there was a bunch of sound
heard.
boxes or something, that it activated. But, eventually we got the key, and the key was not turning in the door. It was not returning. So we were like, "Is this the right key?" Eventually, we got it to work, but that was frustrating. Um,
Also, that also connects to a story I'll tell once you're done. That also has to do
oh
with
yes,
the key and
That's-
horror. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, you'll know what I'm talking about.
okay.
We'll get to that after this, though.
After this, though, technically it'll be in the wrong chronological order, but whatever.
Who cares?
So we open the door, and first thing we see is a bathroom that is lit by green light, and there's fake blood everywhere. And there's a little cage on the side with like this plastic, like dead body in it. So very comforting, as you can imagine. And so we started doing some stuff in there, and eventually we figured out how to advance. We found a knob.
Advance.
We had found a knob for a faucet. And it took me, okay, Actually, it took me like 5 to 10 minutes to actually get the nerves to go into that bathroom, even though there was
Oh yeah.
nothing in
Oh
there.
yeah.
It was just really
B. Yeah.
creepy and disgusting, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to
Agreed.
step foot in there. But next thing you know, there's another room that is opened by putting a knob on a shower handle and opening the shower.
Wall of the shower is the door. I'm like, this butcher has way too much time on his hands.
Well, yeah, he also has dead bodies to hide, obviously.
He got blood on his hands too.
Yeah. So we open the shower, mind you, and the next room is a room lit by red light,
Oh, that
Also-
one hurt my head so much.
also with fake blood everywhere. So
Yeah.
you can imagine my absolute joy when I saw another blood-covered room.
Oh, and then that's the room with Alex in it.
No. The next one was the room with Alex in it. So
Uh,
the whole goal.
No. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
The whole
You're right. Yeah.
the whole goal of the escape room was to find the 4 names of the people who tried to figure out what happened to the butcher, and only one of them got out alive or something like that. And so one of the guys' names was Alex. And eventually we opened another door on the right of that door, and inside there was a bunch of tools, and there was a dead body hanging by his spine from the ceiling. And so we called him Alex
We're like, Alex, we found him.
to try and make us less nervous, I guess.
That's when I started singing Italian music.
That's the red room is about the time we started singing Italian music.
That red light really messed with my head, like
Oh, yeah.
physically. It
Oh,
hurt
yeah.
so bad. Like I can't keep my eyes open. It hurts.
And so eventually we figured out that there was a padlock on the door next to Alex, and we had to go into the cooler.
This is where my dance came.
So we made it in, and we were supposed to count up the number of hands, the number of feet.
Severed hands and severed feet, mind you.
Yes, of course. And the number of smocks and the number of aprons. And so
We were like, figured out. We're like, there was this a picture on the door we were supposed to go through, and it was a foot. It was 2 feet, an apron, a smock, and a hand. And I'm like, maybe it said dance because there's
And
like
we have to
cameras in
dance
the
to
room,
get
and we have
out.
to dance to get there. And so I was like, feet, apron, smock, hands, feet, apron, smock, hands. Came up with this dance, and the door didn't unlock. So I was like, yeah, maybe that's not it.
Meanwhile, I was in the corner going.
And then we found Alex, and so yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't actually go into that meat locker. I
Oh,
stayed out of there.
I did, probably because Alex was hanging there, and I was like, oh, these are all just plastic parts. Like being able to
Yeah.
touch it and like go, oh yeah,
I
this
was
is
more
just
comfortable
plastic.
around Alex because I think he looked more fake. Because having a severed hand, you don't know it's fake until you like get close to it. But looking at Alex, you're like, yeah, I know that's fake. I can
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
because the way the muscle and you look. So
Yeah, you
like,
could,
I'm gonna stay out of that meat locker.
and plus you were like shoved up right next to Alex, so you could feel the plastic on his skin.
Yeah.
It's not like he was.
I was
hanging-
put
know.
in charge to watch the door in case like the butcher came running out.
No,
I'm like, I
I
can't do anything.
if nobody was watching the back of us, I was watching the back of us, because even though the chances of that were very slim, I still didn't want a man with a cleaver running at me in the middle of a red bloodstained room. So so
I feel like
sue
my
me.
fight or flight instincts would kick in, and I would just like kick him in the throat. I'd be
That's
like,
why-
"Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry."
That's why haunted houses like that are pretty dangerous. If you have the people like get close enough, there might be some people who just react and then punch
in the
them.
fight or flight moment, and they and somebody. That happens a lot, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
They usually
Um,
don't get close to things.
Yeah. So eventually we got out. And so I'm never going in a butcher shop again.
I don't think I've actually ever been into a butcher shop.
Not really officially. I've been into like the grocery store butcher section, but I've never been in
Yeah,
like,
that
a
doesn't
butcher
count.
shop. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. But okay, the
Um,
funny thing is, they dress up this escape room to look exactly like a butcher shop on the outside. So when my dad and I would pass by it, we would go, "Oh, there's a butcher shop right next to our house. That's pretty cool." Little did we
but
know.
they're always closed, and you're like, why? It's supposed to be dark in the room, so they'd close like the blinders things that make it look like it's a closed building.
Yeah.
Google it, and it's an escape room.
We were like, is it are they closed? Are they renovating? What's happening?
And you have to like buzz the door, and the person comes from like the other side of the building around outside to unlock the door for you.
Yeah. And then he tells you the story of the
He's so
butcher.
nervous because
Oh,
he doesn't
yeah.
speak English very well, and so he was shaking. And you're like, hey, I speak Czech, I can translate. And he's like, oh, thank the Lord.
Yeah. I eventually had to translate for him, which was fine. I mean, it
Because I mean,
worked
he was
out.
shaking.
Oh, legitimately. I was kind of yeah, I felt sad for him.
Yeah, I felt that. I'm like, dude,
Um
it's okay. English is a stupid language.
well, so is Czech, but we're not going to get into
Czech,
that.
Czech makes more sense than English does.
You sure about that?
Pronunciation wise, it does.
Pronunciation wise, yes.
Grammatically, not so much.
No, definitely not. Um, but yeah, so that was a fun experience.
It was great.
So Peyton, why don't you tell them about your little experience?
Before we do, I have to take a break. It's like 5 minutes. Then I will get to the story. So we'll be right back. These messages from no one because we don't have a sponsorship or fans.
No, of course not.
FIRP.
I hope you guys enjoyed that ad read. The one that I definitely had in there. Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back to
Yeah.
yes.
So tell us about your experience with locked doors and keys.
Yes. Yes. Oh, a couple years ago, my mom got herself locked in a bathroom on Thanksgiving, and it took a long time to get her out. And so we eventually did. We didn't have to get a new mom, which is pretty great. It was really dark.
Yikes.
But and I went to Jer's house for his birthday party last week. I went to their bathroom, their bigger bathroom, because I'm like, I haven't been gracious. And I had noticed that there's a key in the door, and I'm like, there's never been a key in the door before. I always thought this door, didn't have a key, didn't lock, and so I thought, oh, maybe they got it fixed or whatever. Close the door, turn the key, it locks. And I go to the bathroom, um, up, wash my hands, of course. After I flush the toilet, wash your hands, go over, and try to turn the key, and I'm like, not unlocking. I try turning it the other way. I'm like, it's not unlocking. Maybe I have to push the door. Maybe I have to pull it. Maybe I got to turn the key harder. Maybe there's just a weird way where doesn't have to go in all the way. And I'm like, I'm stuck. So I'm like, I'm gonna keep trying, but I didn't want to make it loud enough, like turning the key to where your dad could hear me and then be like, "Are you okay?" Because hearing the sounds of a key being turned in the bathroom and not having the sound of it unlocking, it's kind of embarrassing, actually.
Yep, a little bit.
You're like, I can't unlock the door. Actually, worse when it's a bathroom.
Well, because most of the times it's just like, oh, there's a special trick to it. Yeah, sorry about that, and you're done. So it's not really worth it to try and make a bunch of noise and say, hey, help me out.
Yeah, and I mean, I've tried all the tricks that I know, so I'm like, okay. So I text you. I'm like, Jer, I'm stuck in your bathroom. Send help. And didn't see it, and so I went, you know what? I can make this a little funnier. So I go on my Instagram and I take a story. I take a picture of the lock and I say, Jer Mobley, I'm stuck in your bathroom. Please send help. And that's what you saw first. You saw the story before you saw the text
Okay.
message.
So real quick from my point of view, I checked my phone real quick, and I went, oh, Peyton mentioned me in his story. What is he looking at now? What stupid Instagram challenge is going around now? So I double tap it. It opens up. Um, and then as I'm doing that, I'm like, I actually haven't seen Peyton in this in a hot second.
It's been a couple of years since I've seen him.
And I open it up, and it just says, "I'm stuck in your bathroom. Please help." um, so, I immediately kind of knew what had happened because we knew that door was kind of faulty. It had happened before where people had gotten stuck, so I was like, "Oh, okay. We just have to go in there, twist the key around a little bit. It'll be fine." So I go over, and my parents and I start to try and get you out, but it's just not working.
Yeah. Like, what's the problem? And your mom's like, don't worry, we had this little girl over and she was able to get out. I'm like, you're not making me feel better. I can't unlock the door, but a little girl can. I think I probably broke it somehow before it really broke. I must have
Maybe.
done something because I could not do it. Neither of us could do it. And then the
See,
key broke eventually.
I think that lock was just so rusty at that point that it was
It
hard
just
to.
been done. It was done.
Yeah, it was gone. So eventually,
I was in there
Um,
for like 10 minutes until we were like, all right, I have to drop the key out the window.
yep. So
So,
luckily there was a window in that bathroom.
yes,
Otherwise, we would have had
big
different
window.
problems. Um, but he threw the key out. My dad went out to the backyard, got it, and stuck it in the door on this side, and we tried finicking with it for a little while. Still wasn't working. Still was not
Word.
budging.
Fucking-
And so my dad goes, "Hey, take the screwdriver." I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I can use it for leverage." Actually, no, wait. We tried to take off the handles first to see
Yeah.
if we can like just take the lock out and get you out that way. So we started unscrewing it, and it's not coming out. So we're like, "Oh, okay." So we put the handle back on. I take a screwdriver with the key, try and give it some leverage to like pop the lock. And the head of the key just starts bending rather than actually popping the lock.
know that the lock was not budging.
So next thing you know, Peyton's stuck in the bathroom
About a
And-
half an hour at this point.
for in half an hour at this point. I have a key stuck in a lock that cannot be pulled out anymore because it's completely bent, and a handlebar that can't be taken off anymore because we can't move the key. It's stuck in there.
It's a crossroads.
So at that point, we had to go downstairs, and there was a number for locksmith that we could call if we got locked out of our apartment or whatever. So we called the number and we said, "We have someone stuck in this room. The lock's broken. We need you to come check it out." So yeah, I think back to your point of view.
Oh, dropping the key out. Apparently, your dad was gonna try to catch the key. I thought it was a dumb idea because we're like 3 stories up, and if you get hit in the face, that key that high, it's really gonna hurt.
Yep.
So I just threw it on the ground because I'm like, oh, he'll find it. He's like, why didn't you tell me I was gonna catch it? I'm like, there's no way you could catch that. It's impossible. And it would have hit you and it would have really hurt. And so I was like, I'll just throw the key out. So I threw the key out. He found it. Came upstairs. Do the lock. Work. Resorted to breaking the key eventually. And then
Not
you just hear
intentional, by
him,
the way.
not intentionally breaking the key. He grabs a hammer and just goes to town hitting the lock. I'm like, what are you doing? And it's just bang, 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 bang. And then the lock on my side, the screw just shoots across the room.
I didn't hear
Nothing else, just the screw goes. Found the screw, and I'm like, I'm gonna keep this just in case. So, the screw was shot across the room, and he's like, "Did anything happen?" I'm like, "The screw came out." So I'm
Just a
still
little bit.
sitting there like 40 minutes at this point, and maybe it was still like 30 minutes. All this happened, so fast, and I'm sitting there and I'm waiting. Like, we're gonna have to call a locksmith. I'm like, okay. But I had my iPod in there, so I had some entertainment. That's how I got a hold of their attention. If I didn't have my iPod, this would be a completely different story. um, so I was sitting there on my iPod, just kind of waiting, and they're like, the locksmith will be here in like 5 to 10 minutes. I'm like, okay. 20 minutes later, they're like, yeah, he's still not here. I'm like, oh, really? And so I'm just sitting there, and my iPod is on like 10% battery, and I'm like, what am I gonna do when this dies? And I'm updating everybody on my story. I'm actually gonna make it like a highlight thing on my Instagram account. So if you want to go watch the stories, you can. But I'm updating everyone. Everyone's texting me like, "Are you still stuck?" I'm like, "Yup." And so locksmith gets there. He tries one thing. I think he just tries doing what your dad did and just banging against the lock. Wouldn't move. And then I just hear "Wah, wah," like a drill and just the door. I'm like, what is he drilling? And the door just flies open. And I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't have a mask on, so I was like, oh, I should, stay back because he was wearing his mask in the house. Everyone else was wearing a mask. And so I was waiting for him to move, and he's like, come out. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I ran out and into your room, and I'm like, I was just stuck in the bathroom for an hour. People were texting me like, are you okay? Are you still stuck? I'm like, no, I'm finally out. But man, that was interesting.
It took forever, but we finally got you out.
Like, what am I gonna do? I'm so hungry.
Yep.
I started getting really hungry in there. Give me some food. I need it.
Meanwhile, while we were waiting for the locksmith, I made some guac and chips for some of the other
You
friends
guys
that were there.
ate all of the guacamole without me.
I ate barely any, dude.
I had a
Don't blame
feeling.
me.
On my way to your house, I had a feeling. I'm like, I'm not gonna eat any guacamole, am I? He's gonna make it, and I'm not gonna get any. I was right. I was stuck in a flipping bathroom and didn't get any freaking guacamole.
What bad luck, jeez.
I wanted guacamole so bad. I'm like, he's got guac. Yeah. And then Parker's like, hey, he made guac when I got out. And I'm like, hey. And they're like, actually, there's none left. And I'm like, why would you say that? Why would you ever say that?
Yeah, it was pretty painful. It was really funny while it was happening because I just
Was
saw
really
I just saw your story and I started cracking up laughing because I was like, there's no way. There's no way.
Oh, it's true. And then you get out there and you're like, oh, frick, it's true.
Yep.
I would do that. I would make a joke like that. I would post as a joke, I'm stuck in your bathroom. But I was being serious.
You're being totally serious.
Go back into my archive and see what my exact words were.
I also find it hilarious that the only reason I noticed was because you mentioned me in your story.
Yeah, I'm like, he's gonna see the text and then see I post on my story, but he saw the story first. I said at Jerry Mobley, I'm stuck in your bathroom. Send help, please. I posted that at 4:54 p.m. and I got out at 5:55. Almost exactly an hour.
Oh my gosh.
Ridiculous.
Well, so what did you learn?
I'm scared of you and your bathrooms now.
Yep.
I go to a friend's house, I'm gonna ask, do your bathrooms lock? They unlock. That's a better question.
Yep. That's actually... Yeah, it actually is a better question than do they lock.
Does your bathroom unlock? I mean, going to a bathroom that doesn't lock doesn't bother me, but going to a bathroom that locks and doesn't unlock, that bothers me.
That would be a little bit bothersome.
Your dad was like, why did you lock the door in the first place? I'm like, the bathroom? There's a key in the lock. I'm going to lock the door. That's just what you do.
Yeah.
There's not a key. I'm not going to lock the door. I'm just going to be, super focused on the door. I'm like, if that opens, I slam it shut. So I'm like, if there's a key in the bathroom door, I'm locking it. Or like, if you know the lock doesn't work, I put the key in the lock.
Okay, so we usually do have the key outside of the lock.
No, that's what I noticed. I'm like, why is there a key in there now? It must work now.
In our family, because the lock doesn't work, we were just like, oh, okay, if the door's closed, that means someone's in there. Don't go in, right? But considering we were having enough guests over that day, where we would probably run into each other at some point, my mom's idea was we put the key in the lock just so that they have the safety of locking the door.
So safe they can't come out again.
If she had told me that, I could have probably predicted that someone was going to get stuck. But I had no idea that the key was in the lock. And then that happened.
It did happen. It really did happen. My friend texted me and was like, have any existential thoughts or new ideas, inspiration while being stuck in the bathroom? I said, actually, yeah. Don't get stuck in the bathroom.
Good tip.
I'm going to write that down.
Hot tip for everybody. Don't get stuck in bathrooms.
Don't get stuck in the bathroom. Dad was like, if you hadn't been so self-conscious about your dump, you didn't have to walk it in the first place. And I, laughed nervously. And he's like, am I embarrassing you? I'm like, I'm locked in a bathroom. Can I get more embarrassed?
Good point.
I just thought it was funny. It was more embarrassing not being able to get out of the bathroom. Like, if I had known that the lock is sticky, I wouldn't have been embarrassed trying to unlock it. I had thought the lock worked. So me not being able to unlock it is embarrassing. Once I found out this happens a lot, I'm like, oh, I'm not embarrassed anymore. This is hilarious.
It wasn't just you. That had happened before.
So glad it did. If it was just me. Well, I think I made it quite iconic.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely iconic.
Put a plaque in that bathroom saying, Payton Tremblay spent 1 hour in here against his will.
Yeah, I don't know if that's really something you want to see in a bathroom, though.
I'm gonna put that on my resume. Like when people are asked, so what are your special talents? Oh, I can survive 1 hour in a bathroom.
Or you could say, what are some experiences that you've lived through that you've grown from? I got stuck in a bathroom for an hour once.
Screw my 3-year-old to 4-year-old self. I got stuck in a bathroom for an hour. Screw my life-changing experiences when I was 3. I was stuck in a bathroom when I was 16.
Totally the better option there.
Forget about moving to a new country and living there for 13 years. I got stuck in a bathroom for an hour. It's like, you know the B movie when he's like talking about his resume? Like, what are some of your special talents? And I forgot what he says. It was like super stupid. Like, oh, he could cook. He's like, that's not really a special skill.
Except getting stuck in a bathroom for an hour. It's definitely a special skill.
Playing like jazz music through my iPod because I didn't have my headphones, so I was just playing jazz music while sitting in the bathroom.
I could just imagine walking up to a public bathroom where that had happened and just hearing soft jazz come out of the stall.
Just that's what jazz sounds like. I'm gonna sample that what I just did and make a jazz song. Oh, man.
Beautiful. This is beautiful.
It's gorgeous. Time is it? You have to go somewhere, don't you?
Yes, I have to go pretty soon.
It's almost been an hour.
Yeah. But it's probably been like 50 minutes now. So I think that's actually a good place to wrap it up.
This is a good place to stop. I mean, our shortest episode is like 49.
Oh, yeah. No. It's fine. Once again, thank you for sponsoring us.
Thanks to the locksmith for getting out of my life-changing experience. Oh, see, I almost felt bad. I'm like, should I pay for the locksmith? And then I went, no, they needed that lock to be replaced anyway. Plus, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
Bad for a little bit. Then
see, there was a little bit of a fright though because we didn't have any cash at home.
And then when we were at the escape room, you didn't have cash either. I'm like,
well, okay, we didn't really have any cash at home, except for what I had in my wallet. So my parents had to borrow my money, or money that they had given me. But they had to borrow my money to pay the locksmith. And And then next thing you know, turns out we have to pay before the escape room starts, which means that we had no cash, no use of credit card, and
They
about
didn't
50
take
bucks.
card. They didn't take card, and
And
I'm like,
about
what the
50
heck?
bucks that we had to pay.
And so, I
So that
mean, you
was
guys
good.
lived a block away from the place, so your dad like gave him his credit card and was like, "This is our address. Wife will come bring money."
Yeah.
See, but if you didn't live near that place, there may have been a bigger problem.
Oh yeah, definitely. We'd probably have had to leave.
You would think that that'd be something on their website, like cash only, no cards.
Well, yeah, apparently that wasn't on their website, and that's why my dad didn't know. So,
That's
go
that's
figure.
that's a very specific thing that you should mention.
Yeah, very good specific thing that you should mention.
Like we
But
should
other
have
than
mentioned that when we were paying for our show. We
yeah,
should have written cards. Although people got the idea. I mean, it was cheap anyway.
yeah, I mean, who would pay?
5 crowns with a card. I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, who would pay? Who would pay like $2 with a card?
The minimum's
It's
like
not really gonna
$5.
happen.
Anyway, we were wrapping this episode up.
Yeah. So other than those two experiences, birthday was pretty uneventful, but um, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed FIRP. Hope you dudes and women, I keep forgetting, dudes and women enjoyed FIRP.
Few nobodies in FIRP because you guys don't exist. So
Exactly. Real quick, let's do our German word of the week. I don't know why I'm still doing this bit.
still do it. We still do it with pride.
Here's one that's kind of topical. I don't know how I keep coming up with topical ones, but Schmerzschwelle, pain threshold.
Hey,
Um,
no, there's nothing else to say. That's like
yeah, okay.
you're about to say for a second. Love how pain threshold and butterfly sound similar in German.
That's Schmetterling, but yes. FIRP, of course, stands for
Finding irreplaceable representative purses.
pieces. Is that what you said?
Purses. You know, purse.
Oh,
Purse.
persons. Yeah. Purses. Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyways, see you dudes and women later.
Next,
Peace.
maybe.
Yeah, peace.